Module 2, the Kemp model, has 4 elements of design that are integral parts of course development: student, objectives, methods, and evaluation. The model has 9 phases of design. They allow for flexibility as you move through the design, and the phases are connected, and some influence others indirectly, while they may influence others directly. Phase 1, determine specific goals and instructional issues. Here, determining the learning outcomes for the course. This includes what the student needs to learn or the skills they need to acquire. Phase 2, identify the characteristics and needs of the learner that should be considered. The learning styles and needs of the students. Phase 3, clarify the course content and analyze the proposed task components in relationship to the set goals. This third phase is similar to the third stage in the model proposed by Dick and Carey. It helps the designer to begin thinking about the overall content of the course in relation to the characteristics of the learner. In phase 4, define the instructional objectives and learning outcomes, specifically focusing on the whole learner, and determines the depth of understanding of new material that the learner should be able to demonstrate. In phase 5, ensures the content for each component of instruction is sequentially and logically presented. Similar to the first step in the Dick and Carey model, in this phase, the designer analyzed the broad learning objectives of the course and translate them into more specific and defined goals. In phase 6, design instructional strategies to enable learners to master the content and achieve the learning outcomes. Here, the designer will design activities that assist with course facilitation. Phase 7, plan the instructional message and the appropriate mode of delivery. The designer decides what instructional resources are necessary to allow teachers to effectively teach and students to effectively learn. In phase 8, this phase is unique to the Kemp model because it takes into account the support services that are available or may be required to facilitate both teaching and learning activities. And in the final phase, phase 9, choose appropriate resources that will support the teaching and learning activities. Select the appropriate learning materials that will allow the learner to achieve the desired outcomes, goals, and objectives. The Kemp model. The unique thing about the phases is that they can be addressed simultaneously, individually, or not at all. The advantages of the Kemp model is that it encourages the designer to take perspectives of the learner so that their needs, priorities, and constraints are taken into consideration as the objectives, course materials, and assessments are being created and implemented. The model focuses on the learner's needs and goods. The phases of the models are able to function independently and does not have to be performed in a particular order. The disadvantages of the model is that it has no true beginning or ending point, essentially lacking direction. New designers may have to reference the diagram throughout the design process. This instructs the designer to analyze the learner, the problem, and the task separately. Thank you for taking the time to attend this professional development. I hope the Dick and Carey model and the Kemp model gave you something to think about as you get ready to design your e-learning course. If you have any questions, my information is below. Here are the references for the presentation.